स्क्रीन शेअर केलेली दिसते आता सगळ्यांना? सो इन जेफेट कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक, तर जेफेट कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक जे आहे ते आपण काय करणार आहे, तर एकच मिनिट. तर जेफेट कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक जे आहे ते आपण काय करणार आहे, 3 रिजन मध्ये
while keeping it short.
Voltage between the drain and the source terminal, then the current starts flowing through the device between this drain. The impedance of this JFET is very high. Material will be more reverse biased. So let's say the voltage at the top end is equal to 2 volt, and as we move to N channel, we have seen that what is field effect transistor, and then we have briefly discussed about the different types of FETs. So in this video we will learn about the JFET in detail, and we will see the construction as well as the working of this JFET. Now in the previous video we have seen that in case of a field effect transistor, the path through which the charge carrier flows is known as the channel. And if this channel is made up of N-type material, then the field effect transistor is known as the N-channel FET. And likewise, if the channel is made up of P-type semiconductor material, then the field effect transistor is known as the P-channel FET. So in case of a N-channel JFET, the channel is of N-type material, and the two small P types of regions are fabricated near this channel. And if you see the structure, this N-type material is the major part of the entire structure. So through the ohmic contact, the top of the N channel is connected to the drain terminal, and the bottom of the N channel is connected to the source terminal. And the two P-type regions are connected together to the gate terminal. So in this N-channel JFET, due to these P-type regions, two PN junctions are formed, and due to that the depletion region is also formed near this junction. Now whenever we apply the voltage between the drain and the source terminal, then the current starts flowing through the device between this drain and the source terminal. And by applying the voltage between this gate and the source terminal, this current can be controlled. So the working of this JFET can be explained using the tap water analogy. So as we know, in case of a tap water, the water flows from the source towards the drain, and the flow of water can be controlled using this knob. So similarly, in case of this JFET, the voltage between this gate and the source terminal controls the current which is flowing between the drain and the source terminal. So now let's exactly see how this JFET works by taking the example of this N-channel JFET. And let's also see what should be the exact polarity of the voltages between this drain and the source, as well as between the gate and the source terminal. So first of all, let us assume that this gate and the source terminals are connected together. So as you can see over here, the source terminal is connected to the ground, and the gate and the source terminals are connected together. Now here, in case of this N-channel JFET, the voltage between this drain and the source terminal should be positive. So here, let's say this voltage VDD is applied between this drain and the source terminal. So this voltage VDS should be positive. That means the drain terminal should be more positive than this source terminal. So now once we apply this voltage, then the electrons starts flowing from the source terminal to the drain terminal. And if we see the conventional current, then the current starts flowing from the drain terminal towards the source terminal. So here, let's say ID is the current which is flowing into the drain terminal, and the IS is the current which is flowing out of the source terminal. And as you can see, this current ID is equal to IS. So instead of defining these two currents as a separate current, we will only define this drain current ID. So now considering this VGS is equal to 0 and this VDS is positive, let's see how this N-channel JFET works. So whenever this VDS is positive, then these two PN junctions will become reverse biased. And due to this reverse bias connection, the width of the depletion region will increase. Now if you notice over here, the depletion region is wider at the top of this P-type region, and it is narrower at the bottom of this P-type region. So first of all, let us understand the reason behind it. Now during the operation, this N channel acts like a resistor, and let's assume the uniform resistance throughout this N channel. So this N channel can be modeled as series of distributed resistors between the drain and the source terminal. And whenever this drain current ID flows, then there will be a voltage drop across each resistor. So let's say the voltage at the top end is equal to 2 volt. And as we move towards the source terminal, then there will be a voltage drop across each resistor. And due to that, the upper region of the p-type material will be more reverse bias compared to the lower region. And as we had seen in the earlier videos, as we increase the applied reverse bias voltage, the width of the depletion region will increase. So due to that, the depletion region is wider at the top portion and it is narrower at the bottom portion. So in short, due to the applied voltage VDS, these two PN junctions will become reverse biased, and due to that, only a small amount of reverse saturation current will flow through this PN junction. And for the practical cases, we can consider that the current Ig through this gate terminal is equal to 0. So due to these reverse bias PN junctions, the input impedance of this JFET is very high. So now, as we increase this voltage VDS from 0 to few volts, then the current which is flowing through the channel will increase. And if we plot this current ID versus VDS, then initially it will almost look like a straight line. So this
ये मेरी बेटी हेमिया है जो 3.5 साल की है अभी ये
This curve of ID versus VDS is known as the output characteristic of this JFET, or sometimes it is also known as the drain curves for the JFET. So as you can see, for the low voltages, this curve is almost straight line, meaning that for the low voltages, the resistance of the channel remains constant. But if we keep on increasing this voltage VDS, then the width of the depletion region will become wider, and due to that, the channel will become narrower and narrower. So due to this reduced channel width, now the channel resistance will increase, and that is also evident from the graph. So if you see this region of the graph, the slope of the line changes and it becomes more and more horizontal. So basically it indicates that as we increase the voltage VDS, then the channel resistance will increase. And now if we further increase the voltage VDS, then at one particular voltage, the two depletion regions will touch each other. So this condition is known as the pinch-off condition. And the voltage at which this occurs is known as the pinch-off voltage. So let's denote this pinch-off voltage as Vp. So whenever this VDS is greater than or equal to Vp, then this pinch-off condition will occur. So as the name pinch-off suggests, once this condition occurs, then the current ID should drop to the 0, because now there is no path for the charge carriers to flow from this side towards this side. But in reality, if you see, that is not the case, and in fact once the pinch-off condition is reached, the current ID reaches the saturation level. So let us understand why it is so. So first of all, let us assume that once the pinch-off condition is reached, then this current ID is equal to 0. So if that is the case, then the absence of the drain current would remove the possibility of the different potential levels across this N channel. And due to that, the reverse bias across the PN junction would be removed. And that would result in the loss of depletion region, which caused the pinch-off at the first place. So basically, this current ID will not become 0. And in fact, at the pinch-off condition, this current ID is the maximum current. So this saturation current is denoted as IDSS. And IDSS is the maximum current of the JFET whenever the VGS is equal to 0 and VDS is more than pinch-off voltage. So whenever this VDS is more than this pinch-off voltage, then the current which is flowing through the device is almost constant. And in this region of operation, the JFET works as a constant current source. So basically, under this region of operation, we will get a constant current through this device. Now, so far in our discussion, we have assumed that the voltage VGS is equal to 0. But as discussed earlier, this gate to source voltage can control this drain current. So now let's see how the voltage level of VGS can control the drain current, or in a way, how it can affect the drain curves or the output characteristic of this JFET. So now what we will do, we will make this VGS more and more negative with respect to 0 volt. and we will find the drain currents for the different values of VGS. So first, let us assume that the VGS is equal to -1 volt. So due to this negative voltage now, the depletion region will get created across this PN junction. And as we keep on increasing this voltage VDS between the drain and the source terminal, then the width of the depletion region will increase. But now the pinch off condition or the saturation of the drain current will be reached at the lower voltage of VDS, because due to this negative voltage of VGS, the PN junction is already reverse biased. So in case of a VGS is equal to -1 volt, if we see the drain curve, then it will look like this. So as you can see, at VGS is equal to -1 volt, the saturation value of the drain current has been reduced. And in fact, it will continuously reduce once we reduce the value of VGS below this 0 volt. So as you can see, if we reduce the value of VGS from -1 to -2 volt, then further this saturation value of the drain current will reduce. And whenever this VGS is equal to -Vp, then the saturation current will essentially become 0. So this region of operation is known as the cutoff region of operation, or we can say that whenever this VGS is equal to -Vp, at that time the device is turned off. So in this way, this JFET can be operated in the three different regions: the ohmic region, the saturation region, and the cutoff region. So in this ohmic region, the JFET will work as a resistor, and for the fixed value of VGS, it provides almost constant resistance. But as we reduce the value of this VGS, then the resistance of the channel will increase. So basically in this region, the JFET can be operated as a variable resistor, and by changing the voltage between the gate and the source terminal, we can control the resistance of this JFET. Then the second region of operation is the saturation region. So in this region, whenever this drain to source voltage or VDS is more than this pinch off voltage Vp, at that time the drain current will almost remains constant. And the third region of operation is the cutoff region. So whenever this VGS is greater than or equal to Vp, at that time this drain current ID will be approximately equal to 0. And we can say that the device is turned off. So apart from these three regions, there is one more region, and it is known as the breakdown region. And like a diode, this region of operation should be avoided. So in this saturation region of operation, if we increase this voltage VDS beyond certain limit, then there is a vertical rise in this drain current, or we can say that the breakdown has been occurred. And now the current is limited solely by the external circuit. So generally in the datasheet, the maximum value of the VDS has been defined. So during the operation, the value of this VDS should be less than this rated value. So this is all about the output characteristics or the drain curves of the JFET. Now so far in our discussion, we have only discussed about the N-channel JFET, but the P-channel JFET also works in the similar way. So in case of this P-channel JFET, the channel is made up of P-type semiconductor, and the two small N-type of regions are fabricated near this channel. And in case of a P-channel JFET, now the polarity of the biasing voltage is also reversed. So now in case of this P-channel JFET, the drain to source voltage should be negative and the gate to source voltage should be positive. Apart from that, in case of this P-channel JFET, now the charge carriers will be holes. And when we apply the voltage between the drain and the source terminal, then they will start moving from the source towards the drain terminal. So now if we see the ID versus VDS curve or the output characteristic of the P-channel JFET, then it will look quite similar to the N-channel JFET. But in this case, this voltage VDS is negative. That means if you see the voltages on this horizontal axis, they will be negative. So now in case of this P-channel JFET, as we increase the voltage VGS, then the saturation value of the drain current will reduce. And whenever this VGS is equal to Vp or the pinch off voltage, then the drain current ID will be approximately equal to 0 ampere. And similar to the N-channel JFET, there is also a breakdown region in case of this P-channel JFET. That means if we go beyond the certain value of this voltage VDS, then the drain current will increase drastically. So this is all about the output characteristic of this p-channel JFET. Alright, so now let's see the electronic symbol of this n-channel as well as the p-channel JFET. So these are the symbols of the n-channel and the p-channel JFET. And if you see these symbols, it has a 3 terminals, the gate, drain and the source terminal. And in fact, if you see these two symbols, they almost looks identical. But the only difference between the two symbols is the direction of the arrow. So in case of a n-channel JFET, the arrow is going inwards, while in case of a p-channel JFET, the arrow is going outwards. And basically, this arrow indicates the direction of the flow of current whenever the PN junction is forward biased. So in case of a p-channel JFET, whenever the PN junction is forward biased, then the current will flow in the outward direction. While in case of a n-channel JFET, whenever the PN junction is forward biased, then the current will flow in the inward direction. And apart from this symbol, sometimes this symbol is also used for the n-channel as well as the p-channel JFET. So I hope in this video you understood the construction as well as the working of this JFET. So in the next video, we will find the relationship between the voltage VGS and the drain current ID. And we will find the transfer characteristic.
Are passionate about mechanical gaming keyboards and our gold standard mechanical switches?
For the JFET. So basically, this output characteristics defines the relationship between the two output quantities. And in case of the JFET, it is the relationship between the drain current ID and the voltage VDS. And this output characteristic is obtained for the fixed value of VGS. So in the previous video, we have found the output characteristics of this JFET for the different values of VGS. And as you can see from the graph, as the value of VGS changes, then the drain current ID will change. So now let us find out the relationship between the input voltage VGS and the output drain current ID. So if we plot this relationship, then it is known as the transfer characteristic. So basically, this transfer characteristic is the plot which defines the relationship between the input and the output quantity of the device. And it could be either voltage or current. So for the JFET, if we keep this voltage VDS constant, and for the different values of VGS, if we plot this current ID, then we will get the transfer characteristic of this JFET. Now for the BJT, if you know, the relationship between the output collector current and the input base current is linear, and it can be given by the expression IC is equal to beta times IB. But for the JFET, the relationship between this input voltage VGS and the drain current ID is nonlinear, and it can be given by this expression, that is drain current ID is equal to IDSS times 1 minus VGS divided by VP whole square. And if we want to find this relation graphically, then it can be found from the output characteristic or the drain curves of the JFET. So to find these transfer characteristics, first of all, let us represent this drain current ID and the voltage VGS on the different axes. Now on the right side of this curve, we have a drain curves for the different values of VGS. So from the right side, first of all, let us extend the saturation drain current for the voltage VGS is equal to 0. And at the same time, let us draw a vertical line for the value of VGS is equal to 0. And the intersection of these two lines will give the value of drain current ID for VGS is equal to 0 volt. And we can do the same thing for the different values of VGS. So for VGS is equal to -1, if we extend this line to the left, and if we draw a vertical line for VGS is equal to -1 volt, then we will get an intersection point which represents the value of drain current for VGS is equal to -1 volt. And if we do the same thing for the different drain curves, then we will get values of drain currents for the different values of VGS. And if we connect these intersection points, then we will get a transfer curve which represents the relationship between the current ID and the VGS. And as it is evident from the graph, the relationship between this current ID and the VGS is nonlinear. And like we had seen, mathematically the relationship can be expressed by this expression. That is, drain current ID is equal to IDSS times 1 minus VGS divided by VP whole square, where IDSS is the maximum value of the drain current and the VP is the pinch off voltage of this JFET. So in this expression, if we put VGS is equal to 0, then we will get this drain current ID is equal to IDSS. So whenever this VGS is equal to 0, at that time the value of drain current is maximum and the value of that drain current will be equal to IDSS. Similarly, in this expression, whenever we put this VGS is equal to VP, at that time this drain current ID will be equal to 0. So whenever this VGS is equal to VP, at that time the drain current is 0. So by putting these two values, we will get two extreme points of this curve. So now let's take the value of VGS in between these two extreme points. So let's say for some JFET, the value of IDSS is equal to 12 milliampere, and for that JFET, the value of pinch off voltage VP is equal to minus 4 volt. And let's say we want to find the value of drain current whenever this VGS is equal to minus 2 volt. So if we put all these values, then the drain current ID will be equal to 12 milliampere times 1 minus minus 2 divided by minus 4 whole square. And if we simplify it, then the value of ID will be equal to 3 milliampere. So whenever the VGS is equal to minus 2 volt, at that time the value of drain current ID is equal to 3 milliampere. And in this way, by putting the value of this VGS between the 0 and the pinch off voltage VP, we can find the value of drain current for the given JFET. And similarly, for the given JFET, if we know the value of this drain current ID, then we can find the value of VGS. So if we just rewrite this expression in terms of the VGS, then it can be represented like this. So here, let's say we want to find the value of VGS for the drain current ID is equal to 6 milliampere. So from the given expression, we can say that VGS is equal to minus 4 times 1 minus under root 6 divided by 12. That is equal to minus 4 times 1 minus under root 1 by 2. And if we simplify it, then the value of VGS will be equal to minus 1.17 volt. So in this way, if we know the value of the drain current ID, then we can find the corresponding value of this VGS using this expression. Now so far, we have only discussed about the transfer characteristic of the N-channel JFET. So now similarly, let us see the transfer characteristic for the P-channel JFET. So in case of the P-channel JFET, as the value of VGS and VP both are positive, so the transfer curve will be the mirror image of the N-channel JFET curve. So if we see the transfer curve for the P-channel JFET, then it will look like this. And in this curve, if we know the value of VGS, then by drawing the vertical line, we can find the intersection point on the curve, and thereby we can find the corresponding value of the drain current. Now here, as the voltage VGS and VP both are positive, so we can apply the same mathematical expression that we have used for the N-channel JFET. And using this, we can find the value of the drain current ID. So this is all about the transfer characteristic of the N-channel as well as the P-channel JFET. So I hope in this video you understood what is transfer characteristic and how we can draw a transfer characteristic for the N-channel as well as the P-channel JFET. And we will use this transfer characteristic as well as these equations whenever we discuss the different biasing techniques for the JFET. So if you have any
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं बीएससी के लिए एक नया सीरीज, और ये है फील्ड इफेक्ट ट्रांजिस्टर्स। सो नाम से ही आपको समझ में आ रहा होगा कि ये ट्रांजिस्टर है। इन शॉर्ट फील्ड इफेक्ट ट्रांजिस्टर को हम FE के बारे में हमने बात किया है, 12th में आपने पढ़ा है, शायद बीएससी में भी इससे पहले आपने पढ़ा है। वो है बाइपोलर जंक्शन ट्रांजिस्टर।